What is up, everyone? We've commenced episode 25. Um, Today, we've got another Loki episode.
Mm.
We've got the best movie of the year that released this past weekend, which I enjoyed to the fullest. And, we've got some more Knives Out too, some Don Cheadle, everyone's favorite, and some other stuff. But I'll kick it to Evan and ask Evan how he's doing at this bright and early time in the morning.
Well, it is bright and quite early. It's past
Mm.
the witching hour for me. It's and for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I can happily say from from the depths of the night that I feel so loosened up, so awakened, so free from my circadian rhythm.
That's good.
It's given me a lot of energy to
Well, I'm
jump.
glad to hear that.
Right. So the dance scene later on in this podcast will be quite appreciated.
That's right. Our famous dance scene, which occurs, um, you know, it's normally like an audio exclusive. We don't like to show that on video.
It's on
But
Patreon.
yeah, on our Patreon at our $1 million tier. Um, but yeah, it's really quite a treat for all those involved, I would say.
Right. We should
Um,
put the microphone to the floor so we can hear our taps.
mm, right. Um, yeah, thank you. Thank you
That
for
was
demonstrating.
cool. Yeah, for those of you listening at home, I just performed an amazing tap dance.
Mm-hmm. It was a sight to
And
see.
yeah.
All right. Loki episode 4. This was probably the longest episode. This was probably the best episode, in my opinion.
I would be inclined to agree with you. I would go a step further and
Oh,
say,
you dare.
yeah, I do dare. This is of the three MCU shows that we've seen, this is probably the most interesting. This has the widest collection of interesting things compared to any other MCU show so far. So I'd probably say it's the best episode of anything we've seen of 2021 yet.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
very bold statement right there. I think you're forgetting there was a reunion. I mean, I don't know if you could say it was an episode, but there was a reunion of a pretty famous show that I would say fights it for that spot. I'm obviously the biggest fan of that reunion of all time.
Right.
We'll mention it later, I'm sure. But
Rhymes with Pie Carly.
right, yeah. Well, I was thinking a group of people who aren't your family, but you call close that you live in a expensive New York apartment with. But we'll get to them later.
Right. And then they film episodes for their popular web camera, they're
Right. Yeah, that's you're right. No, you're right. I don't know why I was thinking otherwise. Um. So yeah, this episode, it starts off pretty much right where they left off. I'm pretty sure.
I think like with the exact same note. Like they're on a
Yeah, no time
doomed
has passed.
planet. They're on Krypton,
Yeah.
and
A
uh
spoiler warning, by the way. I don't know when we're gonna talk about anything spoilery, but some stuff
some
happened
big
here.
spoilers.
Yeah.
Two really big spoilers,
Oh
really.
man. Yeah. So yeah, they get off this purple planet, which graced our screens last week and was definitely had no CGI issues.
See, I'm glad they got off that planet because it looked even more. Maybe they're trying to imitate like the Doctor Who style, but it looked even more like they might as well have been on like on a 1950s backdrop.
Mm.
Like they might as well have painted that on in the background because it looked a lot of the sets actually. I'm not. Of course, they're working on a TV budget and not a movie budget.
Well,
But
a Marvel budget is different than most
Yeah,
budgets.
but it's still a Marvel budget. A
Yeah,
lot of these sets look like Funny or Die sketches, you know,
yeah, I would say so.
which I don't know. It didn't really take me out of it, and we'll see at the end. There's is one set that I thought was really cool, but
Yeah, I would agree. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember what really happens. I remember,
well, okay. So there, Loki is reapprehended by
right,
Mobius,
as
who
is Sylvie, our
is
our female Loki.
and Mobius is kind of like, yeah, I'm onto your deception. He's feeling very hurt and betrayed after taking a chance on him. As I would be too. I thought we got uh, our standard obligatory Marvel self awareness comment when he's walking around. He goes, "Hey, but you've got a quip for me now."
Mm.
We got our self awareness points. So
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty. It's pretty neat.
Right.
And he he apprehends him. He takes him, and then somehow he gets loose. No, he throws him into the
He throws him
repeating.
into a prison, which is almost like a loop of him getting kicked in the nads.
Yeah, and being dressed down by a woman who is,
She was in the first couple Thor movies.
yeah. But each time, eventually, like Groundhog's Day, he learns exactly what she's going to say. But the last time he's there, she gives him coldly tells him, "You're alone, and that's all you'll ever be."
Yeah. Pain.
Pain. And this is the first time, and I think I mentioned it before, how this show tries to get into a lot of like philosophical and really deep topics. And it's kind of hard when you're dealing with stuff as patently silly as this.
As
But
Tom Hiddleston with a greasy wig on.
yeah, yeah. But this is the first time where I was like, I actually like he was a character who was even a little bit like there was any kind of like persona past the like facade.
Yeah.
And even though, from what we've seen before, like the deeper you got into Loki, the deeper into sort of like cliche it got. Like it's like, oh, I'm just so theatrical because I'm working out my personal loneliness. And that's on display here too. But this is the first time you ever really felt it. Like it felt honest. And it felt
Yeah.
kind of earned because we got to see him. First of all, this episode gives us more time with him. And this episode's light on the comedic relief, which I liked.
Mm.
Heard that. But then, you know, uh, after Loki inadvertently tells Mobius the truth, that the TVA did not create all of its members, but that
Right.
abducted variants. Mobius, he found out it's right. Mobius, by the way, says how in this episode, which is it's close.
It rhymes with a certain word that this actor is famous for saying in a certain way.
Yeah, the word is sow. When he plays
Yes.
a farmer,
Mm-hmm.
but he makes the realization that Loki is right. He
Mm-hmm.
comes back to take Loki back to the world. He's like, I trust you now.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, he is Owen Wilson himself gets apprehended by the TVA,
Yeah, he
and
does.
in a shocking turn, is executed on the spot.
Yeah.
I, th-
Um,
I thought the effect of him being executed looked a little bit too much like Mars Attacks, but it was I was shocked that they were like they killed him off when he was like one of the best parts about it.
it's weird seeing Owen Wilson die.
What other movies has Owen Wilson died in? I can't think of any.
I don't know if he dies in any. Yeah.
Luke
Um,
Wilson gets badly injured in Neural
mm,
Bombs, so that's close.
um, and yeah, and also the lady who's in charge of the TVA, who Mobius like talks to a bunch in this episode. Like he kind of like stole something from her and found out the truth through that too. So he kind of put all the pieces together, and I think they were kind of like, yeah, he knows too much. Let's zap him. Uh, do you really think they killed Owen Wilson?
Um, I hope so, and not in like
Wow. That
no,
was not intended. That was not intended, me saying that. I just want to, that was a genuine reaction. I
I was
promise.
kind of like yeah, I was kind of like this is one of those things where it's like Endgame, I mean, or like Infinity War. When I remember when Infinity War was over, um, I was thinking that like it would be so cool if Marvel left all these characters dead. I know they can't. I know like contractually they will not,
But
but it
you
would be
just want
so
him to
cool if
take
they
a
left.
risk.
I yes, and if especially I guess we could reveal a bit more.
Yep.
So later on, we do see the timekeepers, and this is the set I'm talking about.
Oh,
That
and who called this happening? The timekeepers are fake.
you called this.
I did. I don't know if it was like that hot of a take.
I think I think it was a kind of it was a general consensus that like you reached. Because
Yeah.
I was saying you would, I kind of thought that we would see them and they would be like phonies,
Yeah.
like they would be ineffectual. And you said that they were gonna be like just like not real.
I mean, yeah, they did technically exist, but they were robots. So like what's the point of having them if they're just robots? That's my question. Was it just for the effect of we built this up and you fell for it?
I thought it was supposed to be some sort of commentary on the state of time, how like it's done in such a rote, and also I felt that this I see a lot of comparisons to Doctor Who, but
Hmm.
I kind of felt like this was taking a lot of cues as well from the works of Terry Gilliam, and a lot of his works kind of have a sort of absurdist uh, meaning to them, and they usually like work in the dangers of technology. So I kind of thought that it was supposed to be just commentary on this dense bureaucratic society that it's literally run on autopilot
Hmm.
by a algorithm.
Hmm.
Which that's
Yeah.
what I thought. That's what I took. Maybe I was reading a bit too
No,
into
I
it.
like that. I think it's
But
definitely like we got to figure out like who is behind all this because there's definitely at least something, right?
there's some kind of puppet master, maybe.
Yeah.
But after we see them, they're about to execute Sylvie and Loki when a fight breaks loose. A sympathetic TVA worker appears, and a fight breaks loose, ending with part two. Loki also getting the Mars Attacks gun pointed at him
Yeah.
and zapped away. And this is another one where it calls into question whether Owen Wilson will stay dead.
Yeah.
But and because it's like I feel like they're gonna bring back a Tom Hiddleston. I imagine it probably maybe it'll be like another Loki that they'll bring in. Once
Well,
again,
no.
I really would. Huh?
Oh no. Did you not see the post-credit scene?
I did not. No.
Oh no. There was a
The post
post-credit
credit
scene.
scene with this one. This one had a post.
Yeah. Yes. I should have told you. Yeah. I'll give you time if you want to watch it on your phone real quick.
No, just
All
you
right.
can.
Okay. Well, do you want me to tell you what happens in it?
Yeah.
Um, Loki's in some alternate dimension, and there's all these other Loki variants. One of them is Richard E. Grant, and he's an old Loki in like a comic book Loki costume, kind of like how they did in WandaVision, like making fun of the comic book costumes. There's a child Loki, there is there's this one, he looks like a variation of Thor, because he has like a gold Thor hammer and like kind of like a Norse kind of like fur coat. I don't know if he's a Loki. I don't know if these are all versions of Loki, but he looked like a version of Thor. And then there's also a alligator with a Loki helmet on, and
Huh.
Loki's in this weird like dimension kind of place, and in the background there's like Avengers Tower, but it's like crumpled. What were you saying?
He's in like the Phantom Zone or something like that.
Kind of, yeah. And that's why I thought when you said this leaves Owen Wilson being alive up for debate, I thought that's why you said that, because Loki is like, he didn't, I guess he didn't die. Um
Well, I hadn't seen the end credit sequence. I just thought they're not. I don't think they're gonna leave him dead
no.
the rest of this. So that makes me think that Owen Wilson might be alive. I had not. I did not. I should have.
Yeah.
I did not realize this one had an post credits on it.
Yep. Yep.
Though I do remember the end credits. It seemed awfully long.
It was, yeah.
It's 6 minutes of end credits, huh?
It was a
For
little
back to
dragged out.
WandaVision times.
Yeah. Going back to that fight real quick. I thought it was a pretty cool fight, but also, I mean, this happens with every like movie there's kind of a fight in. But when Sylvie knocked down the lady who's in charge of the TVA, like she didn't knock her down for good. And
Yeah.
I knew it was coming. And it was like it's just so dumb. I don't know.
I did not see that. I did not see her coming back to up and
People
killing.
just make dumb mistakes in fights. That's my point.
I mean, like, I can get being in a fight and not immediately thinking, well, I gotta kill this guy.
Yeah.
I can get like you've dispatched him and you're like, well, let
Excuse
me
me.
think about this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But in their position, she probably should have, what did you say? Like, you gotta ruin them? You gotta prune them?
Prune, I think it's called. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's when they melt them or whatever.
Dissolve them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird, like, dissolving
It
effect.
is. What do you think about the Loki ex Loki romance, I guess, that they were
Yeah, Owen Wilson does. This is kind of a weird little detour.
yeah.
I don't know, tonally it kind of like really disrupted it. But he goes like, you're in love with her. You
Yeah.
love her.
Yeah.
You're such a narcissist that you've fallen in love with yourself.
I agree with Owen Wilson.
I do. That was one of the main problems of the last one is that it's just two characters talking, but they're the same character, so nothing
Yes.
is being learned.
Yes.
But I agree with Owen Wilson there. You're in love with someone who has every quality of yourself.
Yeah. I hate when Marvel does the I don't mind it when like some other movies do it, but I hate when Marvel does the self-awareness cuz they comment on it, but then they don't do anything about it. It's like
Yeah,
they're
they
just
don't use
commenting it
it
at
as humorous. They don't subvert it or like,
yeah.
well, in real life this wouldn't happen, and then you see how it would actually play out.
Mhm.
They just like will be like, oh, isn't that cliche?
Yeah.
Well, or oh, isn't this outfit silly?
Mhm.
Like you can just have someone wearing a silly outfit, and then we, the audience, know the outfit is silly,
Yeah.
and then we can put that together. Let you don't have to
Do they
always.
think 12-year-olds only watch their shows?
I guess these shows are made to sell toys.
I
You have to
know,
keep
but
that in
it's
mind.
like
But it's also like the
stop.
thematic content you're including seems like you're writing it for at least an audience that's mature enough to be able to like put two and two together, not to have
Mm,
every single plot move in detail
yeah.
explained and over explained and every homage be obvious and everything be constantly like jabbing you in the ribs, being like, "Oh, did you get that joke? Do you understand?"
Yes. Yeah. I definitely agree.
But
Um,
those gripes aside,
yeah,
we
I
end
mean,
with Sylvie has the woman who murdered Loki at Saber Point
mhm.
and demands her to tell her everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna go from here. I'm definitely interested though. I hope the last half is more interesting than the first half, because the first half just felt like a lot of exposition, and
It was a lot of it was
there was a
4
lot to get through.
hours. So much sci-fi I feel like is predicated around the concept of like world building.
Yeah.
And it's like if you just keep building a world and that's just all you're doing, you stop. No one cares about. No one will care about the world unless interesting things happen in it.
Yeah.
You can't just keep building your world and expect that to be a plot.
Yeah. Yep.
I am excited though. You say Richard E. Grant is a part of this.
Yeah,
I
what else is I know his name.
well, he was in the one of my favorite old sad movies called With Nail and I.
Hmm.
It's a movie on HBO Max. If you guys want to check it out,
Okay.
he's been
He
in
was
other
in
stuff.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, he's in Game of Thrones. That's what I first know him from. Is With Nail and I.
Okay.
He's in other stuff that's familiar, but yeah.
Okay. I feel like he's someone who would be in Harry Potter too. Maybe not.
Look it up. He was in Bram Stoker's Dracula. I don't remember who he plays in that.
Oh, apparently he was close to being cast as Lucius Malfoy. There we go.
Is that a character?
He's Draco
Ooh,
Malfoy's
Malfoy
father.
like a 12-year-old boy.
Well, yeah, at the beginning. So is Harry Potter though.
They're gonna cast Richard E. Grant as that 12.
No, he was going to be Draco's father.
Oh,
Yeah.
Draco's the boy.
Yes.
Lucius is the dad.
Yes.
I was
There we
really
go.
confused there. I thought, what?
Yeah, it's okay.
Harry's just gonna have like a 60-year-old friend, or he was his enemy, right?
Yes, yes. The father, I mean, Lucius, it was kind of weird. It was like, I saw a tweet this week and it was like, Voldemort really had beef with a sixth grader. And I was like, yeah, he did.
It
And
is.
then, like, Lucius Malfoy kind of also did.
Was Lucius also like an enmity? Was he also animus too?
Um, yeah, I mean, like, the thing with that is Voldemort's beef kind of fair, I guess, because he attempted to kill Harry's parents. Spoilers for Harry Potter, by the way.
Well, he succeeded in killing Harry's parents,
He
didn't he?
succeeded, but he was also trying to kill Harry.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not siding with Voldemort here. If you think I'm a fascist or a communist, um,
Is Voldemort a fascist?
he
Is
might be. I don't speak for him. Um, Voldemort didn't succeed in his job, and he also was like just kind of like a ghost for a little while. Lucius, he's just like a weirdo with long hair and a weird cane. That's like you're the problem, man.
See,
And he
you,
instilled that into his son.
I feel like you clearly have an understanding of these books that
I
would
do.
be. I genuinely have only seen the first two of those movies.
That's what we're here for. We have opposing viewpoints of what we enjoy.
There's such an intense world of Harry Potter. There's so many
It
characters.
is. It is, but once you're in it, it's you know where you're at. You find your way. Yeah, that's how I would say it goes. Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of worlds like that. I'm involved in a lot of these worlds. The Harry Potter, the Percy Jackson, the Hunger Games, the Maze Runner. I feel like I'm missing a
He's
big
Red
one.
World.
What was that?
Did Divergent slip through the cracks?
Divergent did slip through the cracks. Never. That's the one I never. Yeah, I don't know.
It's really funny that they came out with like a clear, like a good and honest. That was like I feel like our last like good and honest rip off to be like popular.
Yeah.
Like just word for word, copy and pasted. It was getting we were getting young adult trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like because that wasn't the only book that come out. There were like 100 different books that were like the chronicles of the
Yes.
stories of the tales
Yeah, that sounds about
of
right.
Coosterwank or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, in the future, everyone is sewn into the human centipede
Yeah.
when you turn 18. But this one peppy 16-year-old, he's got the guts to fight the system.
Everyone tried to take advantage of their dystopian teenage world for a little bit, for sure.
I know. And hey, not to be one of those guys, but I should point out Battle Royale did it first.
Okay. I don't know that one.
It's like the Hunger Games. It's the same plot as the Hunger Games, but it's like Japanese and it's from like 2001 or might
Okay.
be it's just 2000.
So this makes me raise the question, am I part of the problem because I only know the mainstream ones?
Probably not.
Okay. I
The
just
problem is with those. It's with
it's with the
darn
authors?
those darn young adult literature
Okay.
authors.
All right. All right.
Stephanie Meyer, E.L. James,
We're
right?
calling you out.
He's the one who wrote Hunger Games, I believe, right?
Suzanne Collins.
Oh, Suzanne Collins.
Mm-hmm.
E.L. James wrote Divergent, of course.
Okay. You're officially called out and blacklisted from our podcast. I hope you I'm
No.
sorry. I didn't want it to have to come to this, but it did. Do you want to know another world that I'd say this is one of the more recent worlds I've gotten warped into,
Oh
but
yeah.
this is probably the world it's in the top 5 of worlds I'm very warped into.
Well, what world is this?
This would be the world of one Vin Diesel and his Fast and Furious franchise. Now let me tell you, I had the absolute pleasure of seeing F9, the Fast Saga, in theaters opening week. And
F9 times.
yes, so the movie names are one of my favorite things about this franchise. So this week I
It was
watched
called F9.
yeah, so this one's just called F9, the Fast Saga. But but there's two names that are very elite. So I watched the first two this week because they were on HBO Max, which I hadn't seen before. I
Hmm.
started becoming a fan. Uh, I think it was like 4 years ago, probably. With one of these names is one of the names I'm talking about. The Fate of the Furious,
Hmm.
which is just like F8, but that's Fate, so they named it the Fate of the Furious. Great. The best one though is Fast and Furious 2, Too Fast, Too
That's too
Furious,
curious.
which is just all time awesome.
Did they
Um,
do the Fast and the Furious?
they didn't know.
Oh.
That's a mess. I saw on Twitter this week. So the last two movies are going to be the 10, and it's going to be 10 part 1, 10 part 2, not 10 11, because you can't end on 11. We all know that. Um, Someone said it should be called Fast 10 Your Seatbelts, and I'm on board with that.
Oh,
No?
Fast 10 your seatbelts.
Yeah, that is kind of like two T's.
And then the next one is called Seatbelts Unfastened.
Yeah, that is right. What do you name part two? That's the problem.
Fasten your seatbelts again.
Yeah, I don't know. Keep all your hands and feet all inside the vehicle at all times.
That's the name. That's the name of the movie.
I would
Fast.
like that.
Keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times.
I mean, they've had some lengthy titles.
No, I like.
Um, so yeah, I had never seen. So first, briefly, the first two movies are awesome. Like genuinely, I really did enjoy watching these. They start with Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, and Michelle Rodriguez,
Mm.
uh, that whole gang who are in the movies now still. Just great. And a lot of the argument with these movies, I kind of talked about it last week, is like they're too like overboard. First of all, stop acting like you're too good for these movies. Shut up, turn your brain off and have fun. Second of all, um they go on like the final scene in this movie is like a heist. And like some of that's kind of absurd. Like it's not like I don't know. I feel like
I was hoping this one would reach new levels of absurdity. That's
yeah,
how you
the
get a series going this long.
it increases each movie, which I think is good. Stay consistent with your increasing, and they never disappoint. So I don't like the complaints that they're getting too absurd or whatever. I genuinely think that's a stupid complaint. I'm not like this isn't ironic.
Well, would you rather? I mean, would people rather just be the same again and again and again?
Yeah.
One of the reasons I complimented, one of the few things I complimented WandaVision on was
Yes.
that every once in a while they would do something like stupid and weird, like
Mhm.
have a musical number in like the middle of an episode, which I take that. In a world where, every movie is the same because, the corporations that watch you at every time put in an
Mhm.
AI algorithm that determines what you're going to be watching and listening to.
Yeah.
In the world where every piece of media is the same, I welcome something that's
Yes.
silly, like honest to God silly, that can throw a little bit of a wrench in there.
Yeah, you
It's not
got to
going to
change it
stop
up.
it, but it'll be fun. It'll be a change of pace.
You got to evolve and move forward, and this is literally the 20th anniversary of the first movie. This franchise has been going on for 20 years. Think about that. That's awesome. And it made $70 million opening weekend in the US. So people love them. And the second one introduces Tyrese and Ludacris, who are probably my favorite characters that I've seen so far. They're great. I'm trying to think who else. Eva Mendes is in this one.
Mhm.
We have a great Italian villain in Too Fast, Too Furious, and Paul
Okay.
Walker's back. No Vin Diesel in this one. I was surprised to learn Vin Diesel is not actually in all of the movies. He's not in two and three, so that was pretty shocking to me.
That's like when you learn that Jason's not in the first Friday the 13th. It's world
I didn't
shattering.
know that.
He's not. No, the spoiler alert for 40 or 41-year-old movie, the
Okay.
killer in that movie is Jason's mom, Pamela
Wow.
Voorhees. He becomes the killer in part 2,
Wow.
and he gets his
Interesting.
mask in part 3.
Huh. Wow. You learn something new every day.
Voorhees facts.
Yes, that's our new segment. Um, but Vin Diesel produces the movies now, so that's why I was surprised. Like I thought this was always Vin Diesel's thing. I guess he kind of adopted it more later on when they started getting absurd. So F9. I'm gonna spoil it if Evan doesn't mind.
It's fine. I would rather go into it knowing what's going to happen, I think.
There's some big things that happen in this one. So we start and Vin Diesel's retired. He's on his ranch with his new child, who's named after Paul Walker's character Brian, but Paul Walker's character is still alive in the series, and it's actually hinted he's showing up at the end of the movie. You don't see him or like a CGI like of him. It's just implied that it's him. Um Kurt Russell is in this. He might be dead. We don't know where Kurt Russell is. We don't really see him in the movie. John Cena is Vin Diesel's brother, and he's the villain. And so John Cena is in like he's like a spy kind of. He's like a villain spy. So this is how this movie gets all its insane like heists and spy stuff. He's like, this is my world. Your world is like racing and stuff. Not true. John Diesel turn or John Diesel.
John Diesel.
John Diesel turns at the end of the movie. He becomes good. Uh they bring back some other characters. We have a Gal Gadot cameo. She was in a couple of them. She's no longer in them. I think her character died. R.I.P. She became Wonder Woman though. Um,
Step up or step down, you think?
Step down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wonder
Gotta.
Woman 2 is bad.
It's true.
Would you rather have a Dreamstone or spoiler in F9? Tyrese and Ludacris go to space.
Well, I think I'd rather go to, as we saw,
Exactly.
that Dreamstone has, unforeseen awful consequences. That
Exactly.
you
That's what I'm saying.
Pedro Pascal, a coked out tyrannical leader.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what you like.
Yeah.
I'd rather just go to space. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So like in F9, Vin Diesel survives everything. He beats people up. He's jumping on top of moving cars. There's a big the best plot device is a big magnet which they use to like for like everything. Like they have this big magnet inside the car. And but how it's first introduced is John Cena drives off a cliff. He's falling, and then this drone jet picks up his car in midair and flies off, and it can just like pick up any vehicle. It's great, and they eventually steal it.
Magnets in the car?
The magnet is, I mean, the magnet can kind of be moved anywhere. They put the magnet inside a big truck and then they like pull a truck through a building from the opposite street into the trunk of the truck. And it's awesome. It's a great plot device. I
Is
genuinely love these movies. I'll never get tired of them. I can't wait for more.
I
They're
kind
just
of
so
thought it was gonna be like a Looney Tunes type of thing. Like they pull the car, like they put like a magnet. It's like a big red magnet on the side of the car.
yeah.
Then they drive next to another car, and like in between that car and like a knife shop,
Yeah.
and all the knives come out and they stab the car or something like
Yeah.
that.
That would be good. Um, no, but genuinely, I do love this franchise. We need movies like this that aren't all like serious and like
Mhm.
these movies legitimately you just go and you have fun and you laugh and you're with your boys or your gals or your and it's just genuinely such a good time. Like you know what these are. Just turn your brain off and enjoy something. You don't have to be critical about every movie. You could just watch it and enjoy it. Like we need more movies like these. So that's my thoughts.
Your the main takeaway of our cultural critique of F9.
Yeah, it's just like just enjoy it. People just love to complain. Just like go enjoy a movie. That's stupid.
A stupid move. Here's the thing. For my benefit, I like a very specific form of stupid.
Well, yeah.
I like the F9 feels like the kind of stupidity I can enjoy.
Yeah,
Or like the stupidity of a Friday the 13th.
sure.
Or a stupidity of like a an old any kind of old action thing, really.
Hmm.
There's like the kinds of stupidity I like are the kinds where I can like laugh and have a fun time.
Yeah.
The only kind of stupidity I don't like is the kind where it's boring.
Yeah, this is not
That's
boring.
the number one worst trait of any movie is dull and uninteresting.
I mean, you'll just see stuff in these movies that you genuinely see no one else do.
Exactly. Like, see, the Transformers series is a perfect example of like boring action.
Yeah,
There's nothing interesting or novel about like any of those films.
no. Um, I need to get you on the Fast and Furious movies. First two are on HBO Max. I watched them this week. I suggest you, unless you want to see F9 first, but
Maybe I
yeah, I
should
don't know.
see first to see where we're at, and so I
Right.
kind of build up to there.
Yeah, you might not understand some things, but it's like you won't not enjoy it.
So for F9, you can go in blind, you'd say.
Yes, I would say for any of them you could.
Like I could watch it like machete style.
Yeah. Yeah, just
Three,
do it.
eight, 4, 1.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to watch the other ones I haven't seen though, because they're good. They are.
Okay.
All right. Now that I'm done talking,
Which ones haven't you seen?
I haven't seen 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh.
So there's 4. 3, 4, 5, 6.
So you've seen
Apparently,
5
Vin
and
Diesel and Paul Walker are not in the third one, though.
so you've seen about like 5/9 of these movies.
I've seen Hobbs and Shaw, 9, 8, 7, 4. I've seen, oh no, 2, 1 and 2. So I've seen 6 out of 10. There's 10 total if you count Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh. So you've got a good rate. It's a 60% rate.
Yeah, yeah,
It's better than me. 0% rate.
that's true.
Well, I did see these movies. I saw at least, I think maybe 4 when it came out, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. But you couldn't test me on that movie.
No, yeah, no, I
And
get it.
Tokyo Drift, I saw when it came out.
Yeah, that's the third one.
Oh, it's 3.
Yep.
Then it might not have been that one. I feel like I might have been pretty young when that one came out.
Okay. 20 years. A franchise that lasts 20 years. That's great. I can't wait to see who they cast for 10. You want to talk about, I guess this would be the final Knives Out 2 casting? They
Well,
started filming.
yeah, maybe they just found him.
Yeah,
He's
they probably just found him on a street corner and were like, "Hey, we need an extra." This is Ethan Hawke, of course. He'll be in Knives Out 2.
Ethan Hawke, star of the Before trilogy,
Hmm.
and Eli Roth's classic Knock Knock,
Hmm.
and other films that are in between those caliber of films.
Right.
Eli Hawke, Ethan Hawke,
John Diesel.
John Diesel. Uh, so I guess this probably should cap it off. Anymore,
Yeah.
it's like,
I mean, if they're already filming, yeah.
well, maybe it's like he was cast before and they're just like releasing it now.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe he got cast, the email has been like lost in his folder, and
Right,
he just
yeah.
was like, "Oh wow, I got into Knives Out. Oh, I
Hmm.
got to fly to I don't know, Paris, France. Oh, when do I have to be there?
Yeah.
Yesterday." Cue quirky montage of him getting on a plane while pulling his pants up.
Yep. Do you think Ethan Hawke's that kind of guy that he would have a montage of that?
No, I think he's probably got some guy figuring
Okay.
out.
What do you think his name is?
Eli Hawk,
Not John Diesel.
John Diesel. No.
Yeah. John Diesel is definitely the name of someone who's like working their way up in like some industry. Like he's like a stunt double.
Yeah, what that's like what Cliff Booth
Yeah,
Once Upon a
Yeah,
Time in
yeah, yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
John Diesel is that same a tier of like just amazing names.
yes. Yeah.
Speaking of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Ethan Hawke,
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino this week said that if he will be doing another Kill Bill,
Yeah.
it'll be starring daughter of Hawk, Mia
Yes.
Hawk,
Yeah, Maya Hawke. Yeah.
Maya Hawk. I mean,
Yeah, Maya Hawke. She's in. I've only seen her in Stranger Things season 3, but I liked her character. I liked her and Steve together. They had a good dynamic. Um, I haven't seen either of the Kill Bill movies.
they're both great.
Okay. Would you like? So like, Tarantino's made 9 movies, right?
Technically, he's made 10.
Okay.
Kill Part 1, 2 are 2 movies, but he counts them as one. So
Okay.
he's made 9 movies. But
Um.
he's made Pulp Fiction, I mean, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, um, but Jackie Brown,
Django and Glorious.
yeah, Death Proof,
Pulp
Kill
Fiction.
Bill, huh?
Did you say Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs,
Um.
Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill, Death.
Magnificent something seven.
That wasn't him. That was another guy. That was Antoine.
Uh.
So there's Death Proof, and then Glorious Bastards, Django Unchained, The
Once Upon a
Hateful,
Time.
and then Once Upon a Time.
So
So
he's
the
done 9, right? I guess.
9, but Kill Bill, I mean, it was divided into 2 parts, so 10, but
Okay.
9. And he said he was going to stop at 10.
I think so, yeah. So do you think like I mean, I don't know what else he would do, but do you think that would be his last one?
It kind of seems like it'd be weird that he would end his career on like the third part
A
of
trilogy, yeah.
well, the third part of a trilogy that the last one came out like 17 years ago.
Yeah, that is true.
It just, I don't know, that doesn't, but maybe he'll count it as part of the Kill Bill arc
Yeah.
and you make another. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, to be honest, as much, I feel like Quentin Tarantino's a very introspective guy.
Hmm.
I want him to make more movies, so I don't know if I want to put this out in the world. But Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the perfect movie to end your career on. Like,
Yeah.
it's a movie about cinema, and it ends in this kind of with this weird like magical realism fantasy note
Yeah.
where you kind of imply, hey, new Hollywood can go on forever. And you Quentin Tarantino, kind of probably the last director who has the creative control you associate with New Hollywood, ending his career on that note would be very poetic, I think. But I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Like I don't know when he wants to make his last movie or whatever, but I don't see this guy retiring after one more movie. I think he would be foaming at the mouth if as soon as he came up with a good idea
Yeah.
to just get it done.
And I'll be the one to give it to him. Once again, we'll make our weekly plea to studios that
Hmm.
buy our scripts,
Yeah.
buy our talents,
By us.
buy us. Yes, we will
Um,
write your scripts for you.
yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this would be cool. I don't like if it gets made, cool. If it doesn't, I'm sure I'll make a different good movie. I don't know.
He's a good. Honestly, him and Wes Anderson are the only two directors right now, and I guess Paul Thomas Anderson. I don't know. The list is actually quite long, but he's one of the few directors I can think of who just really does make hit after hit. Like
Hmm.
no misses.
He don't miss.
He don't miss.
All right. Um, do you think Steven Soderbergh misses?
Um, I don't know. Did he direct the sequels to Ocean's 11? I hear they're not
I
good.
actually don't know.
I hear
I've
they're
only seen Ocean's 11. I haven't seen the other two,
me neither.
or the one with Anne Hathaway.
Ocean's 8. I don't think he
Yeah,
directed that one. That one,
probably not.
I mean, it was pretty good. Our
Really?
favorite actor shows up halfway through.
Who's this?
Just this nobody who's British, and is a total charisma machine. But
Oh, there's too many British people we enjoy on this show.
it's James Corden.
Wait, are you serious? No.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. It stops the momentum of the film to a dead halt because he's just like it's also like not like a frivolous scene, but it's a semi like important scene where suddenly out of nowhere like James Corden comes running in with a briefcase and like opens up and he's like, and so here's what we're going to do, and, and it really brings that movie down like 5 or 10 steps.
I gotta
Like
watch it
it's
now.
switched into a different film. It suddenly turns into like a CGI animated children's movie with his performance coming on.
Great. Just what I
It's like
like to
bizarre.
hear. Yeah. Um, there might if yeah. So what we're talking about is, I think it was Don Cheadle, everyone's favorite actor. I have a
Mm.
tradition now when I've gone to the movies. I've gotten a trailer for Space Jam each time. Gotta send a picture of Don Cheadle to Evan, or else I'm doing it wrong. Um, Hopefully when I think Black Widow comes out in like a week.
I think
Hopefully we get a Space Jam 2 trailer when I go see that.
I mean, yeah. Well, I'm gonna see Space Jam 2 anyway. I don't think, honestly, I kind of want to go in as blind as I can.
Yeah, that's fair.
But also,
Um,
blind can you be? I mean, it's Space Jam.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
You kind of know the beginning, middle, and end of it already.
yeah. Um, but Don Cheadle said there could be a another Ocean's movie, Ocean's 14.
Oh,
Would
Ocean.
you have you seen the 12 and 13?
I've not seen 12 and
Have you
13.
seen 11?
I have.
Okay, yeah, same with me.
It's a good movie. Steven Soderbergh
It's
is
a
a good
great
director.
movie. I love heist movies.
Soderbergh has a heist movie, or it's some kind of crime movie out right now. I know
Don Cheadle's in it too. Yeah, I forget what it's called though. I might watch it.
it's called like The Right Guys or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. I might watch that though. It looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good.
Yeah, I would like to see another Ocean's movie. Even though I haven't seen 12 and 13. Why not? That's my take.
Yeah,
Do you have a take?
my take is, I mean, I saw the last one. I don't think there needs to be any more,
Okay.
but fine.
I don't know if they should end on 10 like the Fast and Furious.
Should end on 10, like the works of Quentin Tarantino.
Right. Yeah. We're all
Oh,
ending on 10, aren't we?
they need to like end on 10 by making one called Ocean's 10.
Yeah.
It takes place before Ocean's 11.
Yeah. Um Real quick, there was a trailer for our most anticipated movie of the year, Clifford.
Mm.
I don't know if it's called Clifford the Big Red Dog, but it's about Clifford. It's live action, I guess. Um,
Once
it's
again,
happening.
that Clifford, it feels so rudimentary that they would make a movie about a big red dog and he looks exactly like that. Like it's
Yeah,
weirdly visceral.
yeah.
A lot of the
Tony Hale's
cute
in the movie.
have gone.
He's the only person I recognized.
A lot of the whimsy, I feel like, of having a big red dog, and it's just kind of the convenience of it.
Oh,
Like, can you imagine how many newspapers you'd have to leave out for that?
oh, just pooping all over the
His Clifford's let his big red poops outside.
yeah.
You're gonna be
Hmm.
shoveling that for days.
Oh, oh man, Clifford. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, that movie's happening. Did you want to talk about the Sopranos prequel?
The Mary, they're the many. God, I can't remember if it's the many or the Mary. I think it's the Mary. The something saints of the many saints of Newark, a Soprano story.
Mhm.
Uh, so we got a trailer for that. It looks to be this kind of period crime epic where we get to see a young Tony Soprano falling into his life of crime. Um, it looks. I mean, I'm gonna see it. It the way it's shot makes it look kind of like the Suicide Squad, but I know that David Chase is behind this, so I feel pretty good about it.
Okay.
And it's got James Gandolfini's kid,
Oh yeah.
which gives it points, of course.
Right. Um, do you want to hear something that does not a person subtracted points from their self, I should say.
Okay.
So a few weeks ago we talked about one of our favorite childhood actors, Drake Bell. And Drake Bell, unfortunately, he did some things that we don't endorse here. Um, that's all I'll say about that. This week we learned another. I don't know if Evan knows. We learned another one of our favorite child actors or actors we would watch as a child has done some other things we do not endorse. Kyle Massey of Corey in the House
Oh no.
and other shows has I don't know what exactly he's done, but like we said, it's something we don't endorse. And I just want to say, rest in peace. I mean, it's a new. Are we gonna get a new one every month?
Hollywood is not sitting at its best and brightest.
No.
Get from Even Stevens, better watch Bad.
Shia LaBeouf, he already went down earlier on
Shia what?
Shia LaBeouf. He was on the
He
Even
in anything
Stevens.
else? Seen anything else
He
popular?
was in Transformers and Indiana Jones.
I haven't heard of those.
Okay. Um who's next? That's my question.
Um, whoever played Neville in iCarly.
Well, Neville's actually in the latest episode of iCarly.
See, this proves to me that you've been keeping up with iCarly.
No, I watched episode 4 last night. Episode 5 released today and I didn't know it was releasing today. I just saw it in the like thumbnail.
Oh, Neville's return.
Neville's return. Apparently he's getting married.
Oh, nice.
Um so you actually think it'll be Neville?
If I were to guess, I would say there's gonna be maybe Neville, maybe one of the pair of kings.
One of the pair of
Of the two
kings. That's
kings.
a fair. I think one of them actually is in jail.
Oh, well. Listen, after
No, no, never. I'm thinking of something else. Sorry. None of those two are in jail.
listen, I think Screech dying is kind of like with his death, like the spirits have unleashed, and
Hmm.
now all the other child actors are going to get swept up in this.
Yeah. I don't know who I
Maybe one
think
of the
is
Zacks
next.
or Cody's, maybe Dylan or Cole Sprouse.
Well, Cole's too busy on Riverdale.
Oh yeah,
Maybe that's, I mean, he should
maybe
probably be in
Riverdale
jail
is just
for
like
being
a
on that
front
show.
for like some horrible eyes wide shut type things going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Cole Sprouse is correct though. He'll be put in jail for deciding to be a part of the show Riverdale.
He'll be canceled for that.
Yeah, he
You
should
know,
be.
we cancel actors for everything except for being bad.
We should start that.
We should be like, this guy just sucks, and
Who
people
would
be
be the most
because I was
canceled?
problematic, and we just be like, he's not good.
Who would be the
Very
most
problematic.
canceled? Who do you think?
Um,
James Corden. Should
We
Should
don't,
we?
we are going to cancel our great actor friend of the show, James
You're
Corden.
right. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to disrespect them. Do you want to read some reviews?
Let's read some reviews. Yeah. Do you
All
want?
right. I don't care who starts.
Well, I'll start with a review for Final Destination.
Okay.
Half a star.
Oh.
Bridget gives it half a star for the PTSD.
Oh. Sorry to hear that.
Left by Final Destination. Now, she doesn't mention if the PTSD manifested as a fear of planes or buses as a result of watching the movie,
Okay.
or maybe a PTSD from overexposure to Devon Sawa.
Has a movie ever given you PTSD?
A few
Okay.
cats.
Okay.
Now I can't see cats without, I can't see the animal, a cat,
Okay.
without getting just feverishly angry.
Well, never be afraid to speak up. You're not alone. That's
And if
my
I see a
message.
cat, with a British accent, wearing a
Right.
top hat and a cane, I immediately want to cause it harm.
It's okay.
But I don't. I suppress those instincts.
We all go through that.
Yes.
I've got a 5-star review from Adrian Balboa for my favorite movie I've
Adrian,
seen this year. What was that?
said Adrian Balboa.
Yes. Uh, Child of Rocky. This is a 5-star review for F9, not the key on your computer, the movie. This says no villain should be named Jacob. If you were on the roster for my 10th grade physics lab, I am not afraid of you. I
Jake.
agree.
That his name?
Yeah, John Diesel's name is Jacob.
John Diesel plays Jacob Evil.
Yes, Jacob Evil.
Maybe he's a Jacobian
Could
of
be.
the Jacobian era. Anyway, I also have a review for F9
Okay.
from Griftifer. Gives it 1/2 star and says, I crashed my car after seeing this. Screw you, Vin Diesel.
That's pretty funny. John Diesel.
Jonathan Diesel.
Vin Diesel's one of the better stage names.
It's a stage name?
Yeah.
Not the son of Mr. and Mrs. Diesel?
No, he's not.
Dang.
I've got a 1-star review from.
Maybe his name really is Diesel, but his first name is like, Roderick.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Or like
Roderick
Arthur
Diesel. Yeah. This is a 1-star review for Clifford the Big Red Dog from Exotic. And this one says I'm waiting for the scene when Clifford needs to take a dump and goes to a cafe and takes a massive dump inside because poop jokes are comedic gold in Hollywood terms. Pretty on par with our discussion of the movie from earlier.
See, I'm wondering, is this going to be a poop joke comedy or is this going to be like a comedy, like sappy comedy? I can't tell if this looks more like on the sappy lines.
Okay.
This could be, some body Three Stooges type humor. Who knows?
Okay. Sorry, I'm laughing at my last review just looking at it.
I'm excited now.
Yeah.
All right, for The Shape of Water,
Oh boy.
a review from
This should be
the
good.
Pitchma, who gives it 1/2 star and says, "Not for kids. I only watched the first 10 minutes, and then I washed my eyes." I have to say, I think the lady doth protest too much. I think that the sight of Doug Jones as that hideous sea monster might have been too much for some audience members to handle.
That is top 10 movies I have zero desire to see.
Oh, really? The Shape of Water?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it either. I mean, I like Guillermo del Toro's other work,
Okay.
so I don't know. I'll probably see it. I'll probably end up seeing it.
Okay.
You're obviously dying to share this. I have to. I have
I
to
don't
take
know.
to
This
you.
might not be that funny, but it is to me right now.
Okay.
This is a 2-star review from Andy Zachariason, who has a picture of, it looks like Heath Ledger as his profile picture.
Mhm.
Love Heath Ledger. It's a review for Friends the Reunion. And it says, sound of a scythe being sharpened. The specter of death awaits us all.
This is mean.
I think it's great.
Is that like? Is it because like they're so old, or is it like?
I think it's just the
Oh,
fact that it's happening and so
yeah.
many people love it.
Oh yeah. It's a sign of the end times.
Yes, basically.
The first horseman of the apocalypse is, Jennifer Aniston.
Hmm.
So the first horse of the apocalypse is Sarah Jessica Parker, and that's going to happen.
Hmm.
People are so mean to her about having a horse face.
Really?
Yeah, there's that whole website dedicated to her face looking like a horse. And I say, the horse faced among us deserve a lot of love.
Among Us, one of your favorite games.
Oh, yes, Sussy Among Us,
Hmm.
Baka, and the like. We're expanding our audience to include middle
We
school.
are. We have to cater to all people. Thanks for watching or listening.
Like, subscribe, leave a
Sure.
comment down below. Press that share button if you even
Mm.
want to. Share it with some of your friends. Be like, hey, I found this cool video/podcast that I'd love to listen to on the go or on the boat.
Yeah. I would say we're a good podcast to listen to on a boat, probably.
I know, swimming in your yacht.
So like what I'm picturing right now is people on like the yacht in Wolf of Wall Street right now, like all they gather around like just like hysterically knee slapping listening to us.
And for those of you who are on a boat right now,
Mm-hmm.
um, make sure you keep some equilibrium. I hope you guys brought some water.
Yes.
Don't look too far over the edge. If Christopher Walken is on the boat, stay far away from him.
Mm-hmm.
As a joke, don't sue us, Chris. We
I
love you.
mean, stay hydrated though. It's hot out there.
Right, it's
It
very hot.
has been on the East Coast at least.
It's been down here in Texas too. It's been
Yeah.
quite these this uncharacteristically warm, even for a Texan summer.
Yeah, it'll say like it's 90 something degrees here, but it'll say like feels like 103. Then why isn't it just 103?
Because it's
That's
not.
what it
It
feels
feels
like.
like it.
Yeah, but
I mean, like if it's really dry, then I imagine that makes it feel higher. Or if
no,
it's
I
really
know.
windy, it makes it feel lower.
Yeah. Um, yeah, we're at the quarter century mark.
Wow.
Yeah, episode 25. All right. Hope you guys liked it. If you didn't, that's not our fault. See ya.